Hey, good morning. Let's do some FLL. So this is lesson 70, and we're going to be comparing, adjectives adverbs and prepositions. So let's start by looking at exercise 1. So this is a chart, right, that gives us different adverbs. How adverbs, when, where, how often, and to what extent. So it gives us a lot of examples of different kind of adverbs that fall in those categories. We're going to be looking back at this chart for exercises 2 through 7. So just kind of look over it. These are adverbs. Remember, adverbs describe verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. A lot of them end in ly, but not all of them, and they don't have to end in ly. Okay, so now we're going to look at exercise 2. We're going to write a how adverb in the blank it gives us. So you can pick one from the chart. All right, so the little toddler in pajamas padded blank down the stairs. I want you to write an adverb, a how adverb, right in that blank. You can choose whichever one you like. If you know of another how adverb that's not on this chart, you can write it down. And just go ahead for the rest of those sentences. So there are 8 of them in exercise 2. Choose a how adverb and write it in the blank. You can pause me here. I'm going to go on, but you can pause here and finish 1 through 8. Okay. Exercise 3. This time we're writing an adverb in the blank in each sentence that describes when. So this is a when adverb. You can think of your own adverb, or you can choose one from the chart. But go ahead and do those next 8 sentences. It starts with let's plan our afternoon, blank, and ends with blank. I am thinking about eating some of those. So do those next 8, filling in the blank with a when adverb. Pause me if you need to. To finish, I'm going to go on. Exercise 4. We're writing an adverb that tells where in the blank. Okay, so you can think of your own, or you can choose one from the chart, but it needs to answer the question where. So go ahead, do those next 7 sentences, filling in the blank with a where adverb. And if you can't think of one, if you need to pause me. I'm going to keep going. Exercise 5. This is an adverb. We're filling in with an adverb that tells how often. So again, if you can think of your own, feel free to write in your own. If you can't think of your own, or rather just pick one from the chart, you can pick a how often adverb from the chart. Pause me if you need to. Go ahead and do those next 8 sentences, filling in with a how often adverb, and I'm going to move on. Okay. So remember, adverbs describe a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. They tell you how, when, how often, and to what extent. All right, so far in this lesson we've practiced adverbs describing verbs, telling who, when, where, and how often. But in exercise 6, we're going to underline 8 common to what extent adverbs. So look at the to what extent column on your chart in exercise 1. Okay, so I'm going to do that too. Our to what extent column has to, very, really, quite, so, extremely, rather, and slightly. So those are to what extent adverbs. These adverbs typically describe adjectives or other adverbs, not verbs. Okay. So in exercise 6, we're going to underline each adverb that tells to what extent and draw an arrow to the adjective or adverb that it's describing. So let's do a couple together. Number 1. Eddie climbed a huge tree so carefully. We're going to underline our adverb there. What is our adverb? It is so. Okay, so we're going to underline so. So what? So what? So how? So carefully. So that's another adverb that it's describing. It's describing the adverb carefully. How carefully? So carefully. So we're going to underline so, and we're going to draw an arrow to carefully. Let's do the next one. He went really high. All right. Our to what extent adverb is really. So let's underline really. Really what? Really high, which is another adverb. He went high. How high? Really high. So we're going to underline really and draw an arrow to high. Let's do one more together. He is a very strong boy. Okay. Our to what extent adverb is very. So we're going to underline very. And so he was a strong boy. How strong? Very strong. So very is describing strong, an adjective. So underline very, draw an arrow to strong. I'll let you pause me, do the next 5 on your own, and I'm going to move on to exercise 7. So the sentences in exercise 7 contain a mixture of how, when, where, how often, and to what extent adverbs. For each sentence, we're going to find the adverb, we're going to underline it, and write either how, when, how often, or to what extent on the blank line after the sentence. So you should see a blank line after the sentence. That's where we're writing if it's a how adverb, when, where, how often, or to what extent. So let's do a few of these together. Number 1, my dog lay nearby. Our adverb is nearby. Underline it. And then on the blank beside, we need to figure out, does that tell us how he lays nearby? No. Does it tell us when? No. Does it tell us where? Yeah. Where does he lie? He lies nearby. So on the blank beside the sentence, write where. W-H-E-R-E. Where. Because that's what kind of adverb it is. Let's do number 2. I brush my teeth daily. Should be twice daily. I brush my teeth daily. What is our adverb? Daily. So underline daily. So that's our adverb. Does it tell how? Does it tell when? Not really. Tell where? How often? Yeah, it tells how often, right? How often do I brush my teeth? I brush them daily. So on the line next to your sentence, write how often, because that's the adverb it is. My hair is really bothering me. Ugh. Okay. We'll just have to deal with it. Okay, number 3. The water boiled suddenly. Okay, our adverb here is suddenly. So go ahead and underline suddenly. Now we need to figure out what it tells us. Does it tell us how? Does it tell us when? Yeah. When did it boil? It boiled suddenly. So write when on the line next to the sentence. Okay, after you've done that, you can finish the last 5 on your own. And you can pause me. I'm going to go on to exercise 8. Okay. All right, so first, remember that a whole prepositional phrase can be used as an adverb to tell how, when, and where. So in exercise 8, in each sentence, we're going to underline the prepositional phrase that is used as an adverb. Then write how, when, or where above the phrase. Let's look at number 1. All things are difficult in the beginning. Our prepositional phrase starts with our preposition, in, and ends with our object of the preposition, beginning. So we're going to underline the whole phrase, in the beginning. Does that tell us how? Does it tell us when? Yeah, when. When are all things difficult? In the beginning. So we're going to write when above the prepositional phrase that you've already underlined. So underline in the beginning, write when above it, because that's how it's acting as an adverb that's telling us when. Number 2, city dwellers often build houses near the street. Okay, find our preposition, near, object of the preposition, street. Near the street is our whole prepositional phrase. So underline near the street. So we need to ask ourselves now, this prepositional phrase is acting as an adverb, but what is it telling us? Does it tell us how? Build our houses near the street? No. Does it tell us when? No. Does it tell us where? Yeah, right? Where? Near the street. Are y'all seeing this? Oh my gosh. Oh well. Okay. Where? Near the street. So just write where above the prepositional phrase near the street. And then I'm going to let you do 3 through 6 on your own. Pause me, of course, if you need to. I'm going to go to exercise 9. Okay, let's look at exercise 9. I think I have these sentences right. First sentence is Pearl climbed up. Jamie walked along. The jogger lagged behind. The words in bold are not prepositions. They're adverbs. So let me tell you the trick to figuring out whether a word is a preposition. A preposition is always a part of a prepositional phrase. A preposition is always followed by an object of the preposition. These don't have objects of the preposition. Up, along, behind. But it doesn't say up the tree, right? It just says up. So it's not a preposition. Jamie walked along. It's not a preposition. If Jamie walked along the road, it would be a preposition because it has an object of the preposition, the road, and a prepositional phrase. The jogger lagged behind. Said behind his friend, then it's a preposition. It has a prepositional phrase. But since it just says behind, it's not a preposition. So what is the function of the words up, along, and behind in those sentences? They're adverbs. They tell where. Pearl climbed. Climbed where? She climbed up. Jamie walked. Where did he walk? Along. You get the idea. Don't be fooled into thinking the words in your preposition list are always used as prepositions. They can sometimes be used as adverbs. It all depends on how the word works in the sentence. Okay, so in exercise 10, these are turned into prepositions. Pearl climbed up the stairs. There's an object of the preposition. Jamie walked along the path. The jogger lagged behind the others. They're now prepositions. All right. So go ahead and read exercise 11 on your own. In one sentence, a word is being used as an adverb. In the other, it's being used as a preposition. Just see if you can figure out which one's which. And then in exercise 12, you're going to just diagram those pairs that you read. So if you need help with those diagrams, you can feel free to ask a parent. I'm about to run out of time, so I can't do them with you right now. But yeah, just ask a parent if you need help. I trust, though, that you know how to do them already.